Now students, we have already discussed that chordata phylum has further three subphylum: urochordates, cephalochordates and vertebrata. Now one by one we are going to study. In this video I am going to tell you about urochordates and cephalochordates, and in the second video I am going to tell you that vertebrata is further divided into agantha and gnethostomata. Agantha, they lack jaws, and gnethostomata, they bear jaws. And then we will be discussing one by one agantha and gnethostomata. Better you make a flowchart so that it will be easy for you to learn. Now first of all we are going to start with urochordates. Okay. Now in the case of urochordates, it is not shown in the flowchart that chordata they are together made a protochordata, but that is in your NCERT. Urochordata and the cephalochordata is there. Only few points you must know: that urochordata are marine, they are sessile. Most of the urochordates are sessile, they don't move anywhere, and as they don't move anywhere, so they are filter feeding invertebrate chordates. I am not saying it to be a complete chordate, I am saying it to be a invertebrate chordate. Why? Because notochord is there in the larval stage, but as they become adult, the notochord degenerate. So in this case there are no gills, tail may or may not be present in them, which must be the characteristics of chordate. These characteristics are not present in adult. That is why they are called as a invertebrate chordate. And the very good example of this is Hardmanium, that is the sea squirt. The diagram is given in your NCERT. So urochordates are showing a retrogressive development. Means I have already explained to you that some of the characteristics are there which must be in advance, but they are showing the characteristics which were shown by the ancient or the primitive invertebrates. They include larvae, that is the tadpole, and larva is showing the chordate characters, but the adults, they don't show the chordate characters. Then if we say about the cephalochordates, in cephalochordates, even though notochord is there from head to tail, that persists throughout the life. So cephalo means head and chordate means a rod or a string. So cephalo, wherever the word comes cephalo, it means head. Nerve cord is there, but no brain is there. Pharyngeal gill slits are there, which are there in the adult. Okay, but there are no gills, and tail is there throughout the life. The example is branchiostoma, the lens slit. It is there in the shallow sea water of the sandy coast. It is also a ciliary feeder, and in this the lancelet consists of a long trunk and short tail. Fine. So chordates, they are called as a chordate, but all I want to tell you that all the vertebrates are chordate. This is okay. All the vertebrates are chordate, but all the chordates are not vertebrate. Fine, because this cephalochordate and urochordates are chordates, but they are not vertebrates, because the characteristic of vertebrate, that is crenata. Craniata is the another name of vertebrate, and that is having specific characteristics of chordates. Fine. So what are the characteristics of chordates? What is the characteristic, not chordates, sorry. What are the characteristics of vertebrates? Vertebrates have head, neck, trunk, tail. Tail may be or may not be there. They have some degree of segmentations. In our body we have muscles, we have vertebrae, we have ribs, we have blood vessels, we have nerves, we have appendages. Appendages are arms, they form a forelimb, and legs, they form a hind limb. We have a epidermis, and we have a exoskeleton in the form of a hair, feathers or scales. Fine. We have a endoskeleton in the form of a cartilage. Okay. Then we have a true coelom, The digestive system is complete. Respiration in this, the gill slits have changed into gills, so we have gills for the exchange of gases in the aquatic vertebrates, and in the higher land form they have a lungs for the respiration, and in the frog they have skin through which they are doing respiration. They have a buccopharyngeal lining through which they are doing respiration. Then we have a nerve cord which is differentiated into brain and spinal cord. That is why vertebrata are called as craniata, as they have a cranial nerve. Some may have 8 cranial nerve, some may have 10 cranial nerve. As in the human beings, they have a 12 pairs of cranial nerves. We have a very perfect sense organs. We have a skin receptors. Someone touches you, you get to know. We have a taste buds. We have a olfactory chambers through which we smell. We have eyes, we have ears. So aquatic animals, they can swim very smoothly in the water, so they are streamlined. So they have a lateral line sense organs for detecting the water currents and the waves. We have kidneys for the excretion. We have a secretion of hormones from the endocrine system, and sexes are separate in the vertebrates, maximum of the vertebrates, and in very few of the organisms the fertilization is external, but many of the organisms, many of the vertebrates, they show an internal fertilization. In the very few organism, the larva is there, like in the lamprey or in the frog. Okay, but asexual reproduction is almost lacking. Then in some of the organism, they have cloaca. This is a new word for you. What is cloaca? It is the common chamber. Otherwise, anus is the chamber through which waste, digested waste, comes out from the body. It is thrown out from the body. But what is the cloaca? Cloaca is the common chamber for digestive, excretory, and genitalia. Means that waste is being thrown out, urine is excreted out, and genital tract means sperms are also released in the male organism. So common opening is there for all the three purposes. That is called as a cloaca. But mammals, they lack maximum of the mammals, they lack cloaca. They have a anus through which the waste is thrown out. Fine. Lamprey is parasite. Some of the vertebrates, they live in the sea. Some of the vertebrates are fresh, living in the fresh water or on land or in air. So these are the characteristic features of the vertebrata. Okay, now we are going to start with the jawless vertebrate, and jawless vertebrate is the agantha, and the very good example of the agantha is cyclostomata. Fine. So cyclostomata is the round mouth fish which includes lampreys and hagfishes. Fine. They have a eel. I am writing on the this. They have a eel like in form. Okay. Then they includes lamprey and hagfishes. Even though they are called fishes, but the characteristics are not of true fish. Okay, so in this case, they don't have paired fins, and they have a very smooth, slimy, scaleless skin. Otherwise, in the fishes, they have a scales. Fine. So endoskeleton is cartilaginous. Notochord is there, which is there throughout the life, but girdles are not there. We have a girdles, shoulder girdle and the pelvic girdle, that is not there. Mouth is jawless, that is why they are called as agantha. Mouth is in the form of a circular shape and succotorial, it sucks. Lampreys, I told you that they are few of the lampreys, they are parasitic, so they suck. Okay, so tongue bear horny teeth, they don't have jaws, and the intestine is having so many folds. and there is no air bladder, because of which they can come at the surface of the water. And they have a gills, pairs 5 to 16 pairs of gills, and they may have 8 or 10 pairs of cranial nerves. Fine. So these are Agantha, which are without exoskeleton. In them, the endoskeleton is cartilaginous, because of which the skin is very smooth, soft, slimy, and scaleless. Only they have a mucus gland. Keratin is not there. That is why exoskeleton is not there. Okay, so these are the characteristic feature of cyclostomata, and these are also called as round mouth fishes. Even though they are not fishes, but they are called as round mouth fishes. That is all about Agantha, the jawless vertebrate cyclostomata. Example is lamprey and hagfish, which are without exoskeleton. Okay.